Welcome to The Backlash, a weekly discussion about America's awakening. I am your host, Rebecca Hargraves. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Dave Riley. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Look at what happened to Cameron.
Whoa, Cameron, that's a crazy beard you got going on there. What the heck? What's going on?
This is Mr. Sam Parker. If you're not familiar with him, Cameron is doing a conference in an undisclosed location. I don't know anything about Cameron.
No.
I know he's our Fed handler.
He's
that much I know.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. No question.
Our CIA agent.
I don't know. I think Dave's the Fed.
One of us, clearly, because we've been monetized everywhere.
We have.
And, this is going, I'm probably.
It's all a cover. It's all a cover. That's exactly how they would insert a Fed into the movement. They would demonetize them, ban them from everything, make their life difficult, make it very hard for them to influence the movement. That's exactly how the Feds would operate.
You see,
they would make it very difficult for you to carry out your Fed duties and activities.
He's thought about this.
I know.
He's clearly thought about this.
I do low-key want a Fed handler because it would make me feel like I'm important.
I just would I don't know. It'd be nice to make $4,000 a month.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
That'd be sweet.
Hey,
you can find us on
Israel.
X at Real
$4,000.
Backlash.
They only offered me $3,500.
Are you guys going to talk over me this whole show? I can already tell I'm going to lose control over the show. Just let me get my intro out.
You're in control.
Control's an illusion, Dave. You can find us on X at Real Backlash. Please follow us there. Our website, thebacklash.net. Support us on subscribestar.com/thebacklash, patreon.com/thebacklash. Send your super chats, $10 and up, that will be read live at the end of our show to thebacklash.net/superchat. Also, you can send super chats to my YouTube channel if you're watching there. What a shock. And you can send super chats to our YouTube channel at Real Backlash. Please follow us there so we can eventually just streamline, put everything on our Rumble, on our Backlash on YouTube. We are Backlash Podcast on Rumble. Follow us on Instagram, real.backlash. Follow us on TikTok at Backlash Pod. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be talking ceasefire, Trump's remarkable speeches. Even I was astonished at the stuff that came out of his mouth this week. Miriam Adelson, Docs Young Republicans, is going to be great. But first, a quick thank you to our sponsors, Atlas Bullion, premier dealers of gold and silver, North Idaho Tallow.
Whoa, what is this big red thing on here?
I can't read that.
Because of massive demand, many items are delayed or out of stock. Please expect slight shipping delays while we keep up with the madness.
Holy smokes, gold's at 42.
It is gold is at $4,209.
Can you believe that?
Silver broke $53.19. By the way, the bullion dealers in China are selling it for $120 an ounce. Its spot value is 50, but you can't get it for under 100 apparently.
Good Lord.
The silver squeeze is out of control. So if you've been thinking about it and delaying, it's time to shit or get off the pot. So AtlasBullion.com. Sorry for the extended first. There you go.
North Idaho Tallow. Our other sponsor, North Idaho Tallow. I swear the two of you, skincare without endocrine disruptors, and the people that will publish anything Antelope Hill. I think that is everything. Man, it was a news week. I was listening to Fuentes last night, and he's like, it's been kind of a slow news few days. I was like, what? What are you talking about? He did a great stream about the Docs Republicans last night.
Yeah, he did. I watched some of that this morning.
Should we get right into it?
No, I would like to delay longer. We could actually, I do have something. My daughter painted a nice rainbow.
I know. I
and
came
she's
in.
like, Dad, can you please put this on the Backlash? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm painting a rainbow for the Backlash.
I do like the black rainbow. There's a certain O'Reilly spirit in a black rainbow, I feel like.
Well, we had a double rainbow last week. Full spectrum across the sky, double rainbow.
Yeah.
Kids were freaking out. It was great.
I talked to Phil and I was like, you saw a double rainbow? And she looked at me like, I was like, that is an internet reference that is so far before your time.
Yeah. And of course it's funny too, because it's like, because she is being raised in a very sheltered traditional Catholic home, she has no earthly idea about what the rainbow means in the modern culture.
Oh, really?
So for her, it's just like, wow, there's like a crazy color thing in the sky. That's amazing. God made that. That's awesome. I love it.
Man, I've told Emmeline, I'm like, that's a bad flag.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, so I've told her about that. So my daughter likes to name things, ridiculous names, and she wants to name them like all of these stripper names, right?
Tiffany.
No, she's like, my monkey's name is Alexis. and I said, like, I accidentally said, no, that's a stripper name. And then she's like,
Mommy,
what's a stripper? And I said, it's a bad dancer. And so the other day she's like, I want to name my bird Chirpy. Is that a bad dancer name? And I was like, I don't know how to get out of this.
Oh my
This is the content everybody is here for. Let's talk about the ceasefire. New York Post coming in hot with like some of the most biased reporting that I have heard in just ages. Can you pull this up? I want to read a little bit.
Hamas won't give up arms or control Gaza despite agreeing to Trump deals.
Just ridiculous. Okay, Hamas appeared to renege on key demands of Trump's ceasefire deal just hours after the world celebrated the end of the Gaza war, with the top official saying the terror group will not give up its arms or control over the Gaza Strip. Spokesman claimed Monday that Hamas has no need to abide by every word of Trump's 20-point peace plan, including calls for the terror group to lay down its arms. First of all, okay, I'll get to the first of all in a minute. He said, we do not need to limit ourselves to the Israeli terms and definitions related to weapons. We will not be captives to Israeli terms or demands. This is one of the focal points of the struggle in the next stage after the cessation of the aggression in the Gaza Strip. And his longstanding position will be that it will neither give up its weapons nor cede governance over the Gaza Strip until a path is laid out for Palestinian statehood. So they never agreed to give up their arms. And what we're talking about here are small arms that would only really affect Israeli forces if they were in the Gaza Strip.
Right.
They cannot give up all of their arms. They obviously can't do that because we have been in this ceasefire situation before. This exact thing happened in January 2025. And what happened? Has Israel ever abided by a ceasefire arrangement? No. So Hamas is looking at this. The people of Gaza are looking at this and they're like, we're just supposed to give up what little arms we have to defend? Absolutely not, because that leaves them completely vulnerable to the completion of the ethnic cleansing. And Israel has already violated the ceasefire. No surprise there. Multiple times, I believe.
Multiple times, yeah.
Killed multiple people. So how do you distract from the fact that Israel has killed multiple people in violation of the ceasefire? You whine about Hamas keeping their small arms.
Their small arms, I know. Can you pull up 3?
By the way, every red-blooded American should be in support of Hamas having their weapons.
Of course.
Obviously, like, we believe in the right to self-determination. We believe in the right to bear arms. So I believe in the right for Hamas to have AK-47s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easy peasy.
We're not talking nukes here. Good Lord. Can you pull up 3? So Israel violates ceasefire early morning hours in Gaza. Israeli forces abduct 15 Palestinians northeast of Rafah, while heavy artillery strikes in eastern Gaza City. And I believe this was the 4th violation of the ceasefire to date. But Trump has said some interesting things about, let's pull up 2. There was a clip of this, but I'll just be quick. So speaking with reporters on Tuesday, Trump said, if they don't disarm, by that he means Hamas, we will disarm them and it will happen quickly and perhaps violently, but they will disarm. Do you understand me? And it should take place in a reasonable period of time. So there's no time limit on this. And he's strongly suggesting that the American government is going to go in and we're going to pursue some sort of military strike on Palestine. It's like, what is happening right now?
Well, haven't we already deployed 200 troops to the Gaza Strip, from what I understand, CENTCOM people? And it's like, as this is all coming down, I'm looking at this, and Sam, I'm sure that you were thinking the same thing I'm thinking. It's like, hello, we got another USS Liberty incident brewing here.
Oh yeah,
we're going to send 200 troops.
And this is on the day before 9/11, September 10th, 2001. The U.S. Army actually put out a report that was addressing, United States forces in the area, and said that there was a threat of Israel attacking them in a false flag attack. Said Mossad was ruthless and it was capable of pulling off an attack and making it look like the Arabs did it. That report came out from the U.S. Army literally the day before 9/11 that Israel had this capability to pull off false flags and make it look like Arabs did it.
Yeah.
Great.
And that was at the time, again, the context was of U.S. troops being there in the Middle East. So, I mean, that's always going to be looming. We know what happened in Beirut in 1983, where Israel had, at the very least, foreknowledge of the attack on the Marine Corps barracks there. At the very least, it was foreknowledge, and they let it happen. So there's a lot of precedent for this. It puts us in a very precarious situation.
Yes.
And by the way, I thought that Israel was there as our outpost to do the lifting and the fighting for us so that we wouldn't have to, right? Isn't that the whole reason that we have them there, right? Allegedly, Israel's there to fight our battles there in the Middle East for us. So what? Now we're going to go fight the battle that Israel's there to fight for us?
Right.
Well, I mean, Israel lost. This whole thing has been a massive L for the Israelis. Their goals were to absolutely eradicate and crush Hamas. They didn't do that. They had the goal of regime change in Iran. They weren't able to do that. They weren't able to clear the Palestinians out of Gaza. They weren't able to do that. So basically every strategic objective that the Israelis had in Gaza, in the Middle East, they have taken a fat L on all of that. So.
Except for annihilating hundreds of thousands of Palestinians.
Yes,
they did achieve that goal.
True.
We've heard estimates up to 400,000. Of course, we'll never get the real number of Palestinians dead, but it is incredible to listen to centrists and moderate right-wingers talk about how this is the end of the conflict. Like they have no historical knowledge of how Israel behaves in these situations. I mean, Netanyahu is not going to allow for statehood. So what are we doing here?
By the way, did you see? So today was supposed to be Netanyahu's date in court for his corruption trial.
I have bronchitis.
Where is it? I got to pull up the tweet.
He invoked the Holocaust. He's a victim of the Holocaust and got out of testifying.
It was AF.
Yeah, here it is. It's Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu has been diagnosed with non-threatening bronchitis, leading to the court to truncate his corruption trial testimony in Tel Aviv. So the Holocaust is the only thing standing between Bibi Netanyahu and prison.
Man.
Wow.
Do you guys think that Trump is just swinging his dick as he always does? Or do you think that he would actually invade Palestine to disarm Hamas of small arms?
I don't think that.
It's such an unpopular position. I just can't imagine that he would actually do this.
Listen, the amount of people around Trump, whether it's Ratcliffe at the CIA or if it's Rubio at the State Department, these people are all forming an echo chamber around Trump. You're the greatest president ever. You're amazing. You brought peace to the Reed Bubba. You know, they're gassing him up. You know, I don't think Trump is thinking too far outside of his own ego. So I think if his cabinet leads him to believe that it would be a popular thing for him to do, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't do it.
What do you think, Sam?
I think most likely is there's going to be a little bit of a break while Israel catches its breath. And then when Israel's ready to go again, they're going to go and we're going to supply them and fund them and back them up again. I think perhaps there's a possibility that we will actually bomb Gaza. You know, Trump loves to use those bombers. He loves the display of air power. In his speech, if you listen to his speech to the Knesset the other day, he bragged about all these wonderful, awesome, cutting-edge, world-leading weapons that we have that are, you know, we don't want to use them and they're terrible, but, you know, we have them. And, you know, he really enjoyed sending the B-2s to Iran. Is it outside the realm of possibility that he would send some bombers or some American forces to go bomb Gaza? I suppose not. But again, like, it's easier to just give the bombs to Israel and have them do it.
Yeah, seriously.
What's been going on? So
let's play this clip.
That's what I think probably will happen. Is Israel just going to take a breather, then go in on their time when they want to go back in?
Yep, I agree.
All right, let's take a look at his speech.
But the world is loving Israel again. And I said to Bibi, you know, the world is big and it's strong. And Ron, ultimately, the world wins. And we don't have to worry about that now. But there was getting to be a period of time over the last few months, you know, the world wanted peace and Israel wanted peace. Everybody did. Everybody did. And what a victory it's been, right? What a victory it's been. If you would have gone on for 3-4 more years, keep fighting, it was getting bad. It was getting heated. The timing of this is brilliant. And I said, Bibi, you're going to be remembered for this far more than if you kept this thing going, kill. It would be it would not be the same. And I just want to congratulate you for having the courage to say, that's it, we've won. And now let's enjoy our lives and let's rebuild Israel and make it stronger and bigger and better than it's ever been before. We're going to do that. Took a lot of guts.
Wow.
I'm glad that you grabbed that clip because I didn't tell you to grab that clip, but that was one of the 2 clips that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, we got to talk about. First of all, what the fuck is he talking
about? The roast energy there, the roast energy in the room. Like instead of being, you're going to be remembered for peace instead of the guy that's going kill.
Right.
Like,
I mean, of course, like half of it was bullshit, as you know, as it usually is with Trump. We have quantified the popularity of Israel, and it is at a historic low right now.
Oh yeah.
Historic low. I mean, I'm seeing some 4D chess theories. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but there was a roast element to that I appreciate. Although mostly I'm just embarrassed for Trump. Every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, this is embarrassing.
It was cringe. It was definitely cringe. There were 2 or 3 or 4 moments throughout that where he sort of goes off script and he improvises and was like kind of speaking people up, but it came across as like he was fumbling it. Like when he was talking up Miriam Adelson. We'll probably get to that.
Oh, so we'll get to it.
On that, but he kind of put his foot in his mouth there. He kind of put his foot in his mouth here, talking about Netanyahu. He kind of did that. It got a little cringy.
It did. And it is, there was this moment. I don't know if it's in the outline because I haven't looked at the outline yet, as usual. But there was this moment where he's like, hey, Bibi, this corruption. Why don't you give him a pardon? And it's like,
I forgot to prep that clip.
Yeah, see, it's like, why don't you give this man a pardon?
Give this man
and
a
it's
pardon.
Like, bro, you're like literally just like getting in front of the whole world. Like, yeah, this guy's a filthy criminal. Pardon him.
To be fair, we did play that on Monday.
We did play that on Monday.
Let's watch what he has to say about bringing the embassy to Jerusalem. This is clip 5.
Miriam, stand up, please.
Is this the right clip?
She really is. I mean, she loves this country.
Nope. This is 6. Let's play 5.
This is 6?
Sorry.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry,
My
guys.
apologies.
So much to talk about with the Adelsons.
Oh, see, they were right next to each other. That's why I missed it. It's okay. See, we haven't had any technical difficulties in a very, very long time on this show. We've been doing very good. Here.
Broken promises from many other American presidents. You know that. They kept promising. I never understood it until I got there. There was a lot of pressure put on these presidents. It was put on me too, but I didn't yield to the pressure. But every president for decades said, we're going to do it. The difference is I kept my promise and officially recognized the capital of Israel and moved the American embassy to Jerusalem.
God, he looks terrible. I love it when he does that.
What is he doing? It's like he's doing a bit. Like I thought I was watching a Dean Martin roast almost.
Isn't that right, Miriam? Look at Miriam. She's back there. Stand up, Miriam. Stand up. Miriam and Sheldon would come into the office. They'd call me. He'd call me. I think they had more trips to the White House than anybody else I can think of. Look at her sitting there so innocently. She's got $60 billion in the bank. $60 billion. And I think she's saying no more.
Bruh.
And she loves Israel, but she loves it, and they would come in, and her husband was a very aggressive man, but I loved him. He was a very aggressive, very supportive of me. And he'd call up, can I come over and see you? I say, Sheldon, I'm the president of the United States. It doesn't work that way. He'd come in, and we'd do. But they were very responsible for so much, including getting me thinking about Golan Heights, which is probably one of the greatest things to ever happen to Israel.
Unbelievable. Did anybody count how many ovations he got?
There were several. But did you count how many people were waving American flags?
Yeah,
she
really
is. I mean,
let's just go right to 6, and then we can talk about these.
Yes, that was
These Adelson clips, man.
They're rough. They are.
It
was a Thomas Massey.
It's rough. Yeah, it's from Thomas Massey.
Miriam, stand up, please. She really is. I mean, she loves this country. She loves this country. Her and her husband are so incredible. We miss him so dearly. But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? Oh! She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must say.
Bro.
Oh my gosh. Why would he do this? Okay, one theory is that he is slipping into some sort of old man dementia that is centering around his life that was, super myopic, solipsistic. So maybe it's that. But also I'm hearing some 4D chess theories that he's trying to put them on blast, which I just don't. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Are we still trying to sell 4D chess?
I'm hearing it. I'm still hearing it. People are like, it was just too confrontational and he was just trying to point to how much influence Jews have. I'm like, listen, no. All right. We're not still doing this, guys.
No, I don't think so. Because I have seen the people on X are like, Donald Trump is under death threat. This is the only way that he can communicate that they're in blah, blah, blah.
Every president is under death threat.
Yeah. I mean, everyone since JFK anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, he admitted it. Every president's been under pressure to do this. I've been under pressure to do it,
And I did it.
And what was that pressure exactly, Donald? Can you describe the nature of that pressure and from who it was coming from? I'd like to know more about that.
No.
But yeah, if you listen to this whole speech, and I listened to the whole thing. I didn't want to, but I knew we were going to talk about it today. So I listened to the whole thing. And, it was, I don't know, about an hour long.
Wow.
And he went around to many people in the room and just praised them and praised them and praised them. Jared, Ivanka, Netanyahu, the general, what's his bucket from the United States. I forget his name already, but just systematically around Miriam Adelson, around the room. He went around the room and was just praising people. Steve Witkoff was another one, got a lot of praise. And so, no, this wasn't like him, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, 4D chess. I'm going to throw these people under the bus. He spent the greater portion of the hour praising these people. My interpretation is your first explanation, Rebecca. This is an old guy who's speaking off the cuff. And, we've seen this from old people before. Like you see it in church sometimes or other gatherings, an old guy giving a speech. He speaks off the cuff, he gets off script, and he accidentally kind of puts his foot in his mouth or says something boomerish, and it's kind of awkward or cringe. It's just what they do when they go off script. That's what I interpreted here. He went off script. He was trying to be, positive and put in his own thoughts. And
right.
He just kind of stuck
also,
his foot
he
in his
seems
mouth,
to be increasingly concerned with his mortality and his position in heaven.
He keeps talking about
it.
Yeah.
And I think that he believes that the more he elevates Israel and the Jewish people, the likelier it is that he secure his place in heaven.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's the
he's
evangelical
surrounded by
position.
Christian people who believe that.
Yeah.
Right?
Like Paula White.
But I still, I'm still kind of in the dementia camp here because it's like, how are you going to get up on stage and say, oh, they've pressured everybody. They put so much pressure, but I didn't cave into the pressure. I just did exactly what they were pressuring me to do. Like, what planet are you living on, Don? Exactly this is just...
If you were in the 4D chess camp, this clip will dispel any theories that you have in that regard.
I sucked them into my trap by giving them everything that they wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
I have submitted your nomination to be the first non-Israeli recipient of the Israel Prize, Israel's highest award. As to that other prize, just a question of time, you'll get it. But I want you to get the Israel Prize, our highest award, to our greatest friend.
So humiliating.
Unbelievable. With the Israel Prize. And of course, by the way, do we have the readout on how many Jews have won the Nobel Peace Prize? It's
isn't it 70 or 80%?
Disproportionate.
Yeah.
Absolutely
some high
disproportionate.
percentage,
yeah.
I'm going to ask Grok.
And did you hear him? We'll make that happen too. Don't worry. We'll get you that too. That's coming.
Right. He's not beating the allegations.
Is it just the Nobel Peace Prize or all Nobel Prizes?
Just all Nobel
prizes. I think that they've something like 30 or 20 or 30 or 40% of I think the ones in medicine and physics.
Anything over 2% of all of the prizes.
I was way off. It's 22%. But in science and economic sciences, it's 45%.
That doesn't surprise me at all. 2% of the population getting 50% of all of the awards, makes me wonder. And of course, with this whole thing, it's like, when we watched it on Monday, go back to that episode with Lucas Gage, episode 83, because like our reactions to these clips were like actually spontaneous. I think it was the first time that all of us were watching the clips, and it's just like everything that we have been alleging on this program for months and months now, things that we've been saying before this program started for 10 years now. Yeah. Basically, they're admitting all of it. At
they
this point,
exclude
openly.
Secular Jews in this.
Oh,
so it's
even
100%.
Higher. It's even higher. It's definitely even higher. Oh my goodness. This is unbelievable. And, it's not going to last. This is not going to last.
Of course it's not going to last. This is going to be such a grave embarrassment for the Trump administration.
I've been seeing these Christian Zionist ministers, too, coming out. They can't make a deal that gives up 1 inch of their land. And, of course, to them, the land is Greater Israel, which includes the Sinai Peninsula, parts of Syria, Turkey, Iraq, Jordan, Saudi Arabia. I mean, these people have not repudiated their ambitions for Greater Israel. And so ultimately, this is going to continue. The populace in Israel has been indoctrinated to believe that all Arabs are Hamas, that all Arabs are terrorists. So nothing has been done on that front. So it is literally just a matter of time. And of course, I don't have the tweets to pull up, but the day that Trump went into Israel, did you see all of the billboards and banners calling Donald Trump Cyrus the Great has returned? And of course, what did Cyrus the Great do when, in biblical times? He helped the Jews go back to Israel and build the temple and reinstate blood sacrifice. And so what are we seeing from all of these Chabad people, from all of these Orthodox people, from people like Adam King, right? Like, they want to reinstate the temple. They want to demolish Al-Aqsa, Al-Quds, and build the third temple.
Yeah,
and
of course.
usher in the fucking Antichrist.
And
that's what they want to do.
At this point, why would the Palestinian people be amenable to some kind of ceasefire when it's been violated so many times in the past? And their population and their cities have been decimated already, and they're not going anywhere. So what incentive do they have? We already know they'll die for the cause. What incentive do they have to be like, okay?
I mean, I think that they are, in a way, diplomatically taking away these cards that Israel has to play. And so the moment that things like, I mean, we opened the program talking about the ceasefires, like everybody is hyper aware of what Israel is doing over there. So the moment that Israel attempts to conjure up conflict there again, the population is lost. The world is already turned on them. And so I think that Hamas, I don't think they're stupid. I think that they are looking at the situation and they are systematically removing cards from the Israelis' hands and forcing them into this position where, are you going to accept a two-state solution or not? And of course, the last president of Israel that was on board with the two-state solution, the Kahanists, the terrorist group from the Koch party in Israel, they assassinated their own. So,
and Netanyahu has said point blank that the two-state solution is
off the table.
It's just absolutely off the table.
Yeah.
So they're not going to negotiate with one another in a meaningful way. The ceasefire is meaningless. I suppose I'm happy that there has been some sort of pause on this mass killing event, but there is no reason for anybody to think that this is a serious agreement that's going to be adhered to by Israel. There's no reason for anybody to think that. I cannot believe I'm hearing this from people on the right.
Some people
Fell for it again. Get your Fell for it again awards ready. I see you got them on your book. They're
at
your
antelopehill.com. You can get a Fell for It Again award. Where is the focus? There it is. Fell for It Again award. You can get those. Wear them proudly. Because if you think that this is over, you're retarded.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it should have a subheading. You're retarded. Good Lord. I think we buried the lead. Because,
which lead?
Well, the doxing. Okay, I know that Israel is the most important discussion. But this doxing story had me all fired up. I was most excited to talk about this.
I've got a great transition for this.
Might be related.
Well, see, just as the war in Gaza is winding down, the domestic war of Israel against Americans is ramping up.
It's heating up.
That's the transition. That's what's going on. And so, of course, we The Twitter has been all a hullabaloo, whatever, over this article.
I love, for those of you that haven't been following this case, young Republicans, and what state is this?
All of them. This is.
Oh, really? I thought it was a state young Republican.
No. New York, Arizona, Kansas, all over the country. All over the country.
There's some weaselly Jew. What is his name? Wax?
Gavin Wax.
Gavin Wax. Has leaked these messages allegedly, but
no, it was him. I will come out and say it. Gavin Wax did it. We've got confirmation on. I've got confirmation.
Oh,
on
fantastic!
This from inside sources. So let me, of course.
First, let's go to this Politico article so that we can bring people up to speed. Thousands of private messages reveal young GOP leaders joking about gas chambers, slavery, and rape. Okay, so if you read some of these messages, everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. This is all of our chat. My personal chats are so much worse than this. And I would just love it if they got leaked because people would be like, that blonde chick's the real deal. The fucking real deal. The problem with these kids is they all try to go straight.
How I talked in private. If they only knew how I really felt.
And of course, here's like a spread. This, of course, comes from Blue Georgia, some dumb Democrat group or whatever. But it's like, they got the pictures of these people with their worst messages. So it's like, here's like Alex Dwyer, by the way, great guy. And please pray for him. They just had either they're about to have or they just had a baby.
Yeah.
He got fired from his job.
Alex, if you're watching this, better things are ahead.
Please. Yeah.
Also, this was small time
this is
compared
so
to our,
look at this.
Our chat.
The thing that they take issue with is Trump's too busy burning the Epstein files. Really? That's what's so bad?
1488, in parentheses, it says shorthand for Heil Hitler. I suppose they added that.
He's like, no. He's probably in the chat, like, explaining, what does 1488 mean? So he's probably like, 1488 means shorthand for Heil Hitler.
That's the worst thing for Alex.
That's the worst thing that he's got. This guy, Samuel Douglas, she doesn't bathe often. You're expecting the Jew to be honest? Like, come on, please. Bobby Walker, stay in the closet.
Faggot.
You know what I mean?
Wait, okay. What did the chick say?
What did she say? I didn't even look. When do we bring that side out? I'm
ready to watch people burn
now.
That's like nothing. I've said that on the show before. This guy just said beaner and spick. That's it.
I'd like to go to the zoo if I wanted to watch monkey play ball. And then, of course, we got.
I didn't even hard R.
Physiognomy of some of these people. Like, come on, guys. Like, is this our movement here? We're just massively overweight.
I don't care. I will defend these people to the grave.
Also, some of these people are like 40. I'm not a young Republican.
This is kind of a wake-up call for people that are unaware, but the young Republicans is from like 18 to 40. That is how low engagement has been in the young Republican part of because the young people have been like very nonplussed by the Republican Party for a very, very long time. So they've had to systematically raise it from 30 to 35
So you're
to
telling
40.
me if I gave a shit about actual politics and the system, I could be a young Republican for 2 more years?
Yeah, no. And, the thing about this is that, and it's so tragic too, right? So this is Gavin Wax, the Jewish guy from New York, who doxed all of these people. And it's, I feel like I'm like at the center of this thing because I know the people that got doxed and I also know Gavin. Gavin was instrumental in attempting to help us with Vince. Remember, a couple of years ago, we tried to take over the Young Republicans of Idaho with Vince running his chair.
None of this sounds familiar.
Gavin Wax was providing material support as chairman of the New York Young Republican Club. Gavin has a lot of ties to the AFD. He has a lot of ties to the Hungarian freedom movement or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, now I think we're all starting to see exactly why that's happening. This is Zionist infiltration.
Why did he have all those ties?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know how we always talk about how we've predicted things on the show and we've said things that have been prophetic. How many times have I said, no Jews ever, not one Jew, no exception Jews?
Yep.
No Max Blumenthals.
Nope. No,
this is the problem with you young Republicans. You trusted a Jew. I hope you all learned your lesson.
You can't trust them. I'm sorry. And I say that. I don't mean to be hurtful or anything.
That one guy even said, you expect them not to lie?
Right. I mean, hello. Now, we do have some stuff.
But we should say, I don't know, maybe you're going to say this, but it was more than lying. Okay. This guy infiltrated groups. He infiltrated political groups. he obtained dirt.
Is this why he infiltrated, you think?
Well,
because I heard it was
at
some
the end of the
sort
day,
of...
this is what it looks like, that he's infiltrated. He's in these ranks. He's in these groups. Okay. He obtains dirt on people in these groups. He uses that dirt to extort people. And then he exposes people and gets them canceled.
Not quite.
Jewish from front to back.
Not quite. I mean, yes and no. So we're going to run down some of the facts in the case. I've been talking with people for the past 24 hours, trying to get the facts straight, trying to get the story, because these kids aren't talking to journalists. So I might be one of the only like journalists out there that some of these kids have actually talked to. We do, by the way, have an anonymous statement from one of the people that was doxxed. You aren't going to get it from anywhere other than
First
the Backlash.
Exclusive.
It's an exclusive. Now, of course, we're high-fiving as these poor kids have lost their jobs and had their lives ruined, and they're like, now literally
their lives are not ruined.
They won't be.
They'll be fine.
I'm hopeful that they will bounce back, but there are a lot of these people. Remember, the left wants to fucking kill people. Yeah. They killed Charlie Kirk less than a month ago.
Cancel culture is obsolete. These kids will be fine.
Well,
these kids that are older than me will be fine.
I'm just saying that coming out with this big story from Politico is going to activate the left, and they are going to want blood because they want to fucking kill us. And so there are a lot of these young kids that have never been doxxed before. This is their first rodeo, and they are scared. They are scared for their lives. They're scared for their livelihoods. They don't. And when you've got the whole world bearing down on you like this, it's very difficult to see the other side of the scandal. So anyway, let's get into this a little bit. We do have a tweet. I hate to do it, but I've got to because Milo's got the goods on this one. Gavin Wax pressured Bartels to share the chat logs, threatening that his career would be over if he didn't. He was successful. He sent the logs. Gavin Wax sent the logs to Politico himself. The New York GOP members have proof of this. Gavin cooperated with Politico over an extended period of time, even discussing the framing and focus of the article. He provided reports with contact information and introductions. He failed, as Politico did, to get anyone else in the chat to flip. And he was not protected by the White House when the White House... so by the way, for those of you who don't know, Gavin Wax is like currently one of the undersecretaries at the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. So he has a job in the administration, which is... he should lose that job.
Of course he should lose that job.
Every person watching this show right now, I want you to get Gavin Wax fired. He needs to lose his job for this. So the thing that goes even worse on this, something that I reported that nobody else has reported yet, is that Bartels is a deeply closeted homosexual. This is what Gavin Wax knew about this Bartels guy. Let me pull up. I've got a photo of him. You'll see it. The physiognomy is there. Oh no! They deleted the post. Son of a bitch.
Wow.
Okay. Well, never mind. But
thanks, Nikita Beer.
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
See, the lesson here is that if you're blackmailable, you should just get ahead of it because it comes out anyway.
This should be one.
And in today's day and age, like nobody cares.
Yeah, this
like
should be
literally nobody cares. Whatever, unless you diddle kids or you murdered somebody. I don't think, and I'm not saying that like that's good, but it is what it is. Like nobody cares.
And
unfortunately,
I hate to do this. He's Catholic. He's a fellow Catholic, but my sources, who I place a lot of trust in, say that he is a deeply closeted.
Maybe he's celibate.
He might be, but.
Dude, that's
still,
a tough break.
It's tough. So Gavin used that knowledge to extort this guy, Michael Bartels, and then Bartels coughed up the chat logs, gave them to Wax. Wax gave them to Politico. And the worst part about this entire thing is that it wasn't even for good boy points, okay? It was over petty beef between Gavin Wax and a guy named Peter Gunta, because Peter got a photo with Donald Trump at the Madison Square Garden rally, and he got some spot on like a committee that Gavin wanted. And so it was completely selfish. It wasn't like he was trying to get a promotion or that Gavin himself was being blackmailed or pressured to do this. It was literally petty beef between the New York Young Republican Club and the New York State Young Republican Club.
He's a petty, self-interested Jew?
Oh, wow. Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah.
So it's all very fucked up, and I want to
Shame on you for working with him.
I mean, listen, he was the one helping me. I wasn't helping him. So I'm just saying, if some Jewish guy wants to help me.
Those could have been your chat logs. Those
could have been my chat logs.
That would have been so funny.
I should go through the messages I have between me and Gavin, because I wonder if the administration would want to know that Gavin was providing material support to an anti-Semite like Vincent James, right? Because that's what we were talking about. So now this comes from one of the people who was doxxed. They will remain nameless, but these guys haven't spoken to the press. They haven't spoken to the media. They are
Nor
afraid.
should they.
Nor
Say
should they.
nothing, yeah.
Don't say anything. Don't disavow anybody. Stand strong. But this is what one of these young guys has to say. This political article is the most obvious smear for all those with the critical ability to read. It self-admits that these messages in question are jokes and yet continues to defame, libel, and assassinate the character of myself and my fellow young Republicans. I'm encouraged that the era of pearl-clutching conservatism is on the way out, as evidenced by the innumerable messages online of support, not just from burner accounts, but from the likes of Steven Crowder, Matt Walsh, and even the Vice President of the United States. It has to be on its way out, otherwise we lose. Democrats don't bat an eye at a candidate for attorney general frothing at the mouth in pure ecstasy over the daydream of murdering a husband's wife and children before him, and in fact doubled down and galvanized their support for him. Yet rowdy young Republicans can't catch a break from their own leadership for joking in private. I have trouble reconciling this double standard and the fact that the establishment in the GOP is so ready to eat their young. More to the point, it goes beyond having the right of freedom to speech in private, whatever that looks like. We aren't the enemy. We are up-and-comers, ambitious and driven. We're young fathers and husbands. We have been, for what it got us, loyal to our party and dedicated to working for these same Republicans that have disavowed us. Our phones are blown up, our social media is brigaded, and our families and friends harassed by the press and otherwise, some of whom have even shown up to our houses. What this has caused for those of us unfortunate to have been smeared this way, we've lost our jobs and our livelihoods and sense of security for our futures. Our careers are at best put on pause and at worst ruined and the way forward obfuscated. There's a constant pit in my stomach these days, but I find solace in the fact that I have fellowship with people who are enduring this same thing. We're all in this together, and unlike the apparatchiks that disavowed us, we intend to stick together.
That was a good statement.
Wonderful statement. Bravo. So, there is a white pill in this.
Of course there is.
There's several, actually.
If any of you people that this has happened to are watching the show, which you might be because you gave us a statement, I want to tell you that this will be over. It will end. People will forget about it. The left employs and holds up and takes money from murderers, pedophiles, people that want to wipe out entire races and religions on the planet. And they don't give a shit. They have no moral code. You guys just said a few things. This isn't going to follow you like a dark mark your entire life. It's really not that big of a deal. And, there's a place for you on the dissident right. Maybe the lesson here is that you tried to go a little too straight.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the lesson. I think the lesson is A,
don't trust Jews.
Don't trust Jews. Yeah. B, hide your power.
That's the second lesson, too. That's the first two lessons.
The first two lessons, don't trust Jews. Don't trust Jews. Third lesson, hide your power levels. Please, even in private chats,
we'll talk about
your
this.
Power levels.
I disagree completely. You can only get doxxed one time. And let me tell you, as somebody who speaks freely, the conversations I have in person and through text and things like that, they're exactly this kind of stuff that I say on the show. Yeah. And there is something so freeing about being able to embody who you actually are online. Because nobody can blackmail me. Nobody can be like, oh, you dropped a hard R in one of your... I would be like, cool.
Yep. No, I mean, being doxxed in 2017 for me was one of the most liberating things.
It was so liberating. At the time, it
sucked.
It sucked so much. It was so stressful. I thought my life was over. And then slowly, I regained my composure. And then I realized this can never happen to me again.
Right.
You can say whatever you want to now in public or in private. Imagine the power in that.
Yep.
Look at Nick Fuentes now.
Yep.
That kid says whatever he wants.
Well, this is one of the other points.
He's not a kid, sorry.
You know,
why
for those of you in the establishment that are capitalizing on this moment, because, by the way, they are. Gavin has been, and, you know, one of the reasons why I was in touch with him is because he was at odds for the past 4 years with the establishment, you know, in the Young Republican organization. He was kind of a vanguard of people bringing groypers, bringing younger kids into the Young Republican movement.
He shot his wad over this. Now no one is ever going to trust him again because of
obviously.
some stupid
and he
petty
needs
crap.
to be fired from the FCC.
Oh, yeah,
Fire Gavin Wax. I'm pointing at the wrong.
You know, there's a couple other angles here I want to hit. Number one, I do want to say, if you're in a group chat, I do think you have to be wary of OPSEC, you know, operational security. I've been in some group chats with accounts and people who have millions of followers, have a lot to lose. And we do not tolerate anything like screenshotting the chat and posting it. Like, absolutely, like 100% no, that happens. Like, you're out, you're nuked, you're gone, you're dead to us, right? Like, absolutely cannot have people screenshotting chats. If you must be in a group chat, you must have operational security. You must be aware that anything you say in the chat, no matter how private you think it is, could be leaked at some point, and you have to be okay with that. Okay, you can't be surprised or shocked if something that you said in a private chat somewhere got out. You should expect that it will at some point. So just be aware of that. This is just from what I've learned from my own, you know, experience. Things that you say will get screenshotted, they will get out, they will get leaked, and you just have to be aware of that all the time. And if you're in a private chat where there's risky, sketchy stuff being said, maybe you should take a second thought about whether you want to be in that group chat. It's just something to be aware of.
Yeah,
I agree. Like, it's very freeing, liberating to be able to use your real face, your real name, say what you want. But not everybody is really in that position. Some people have a lot to lose, and I understand it. I get it. So please exercise smart operational security, and please don't trust Jews. Can we please stop allying with Jews? Can we please stop feeling compelled that we have to partner with these people?
What are you looking at me for?
Because you should look at your alliances and be like, oh, no.
Listen, I'm just saying, you know, I do think that this is a learning moment also for the right, for a lot of people that are watching. You know, just 4 weeks ago, we had people coming out celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, calling for other people to be, you know, look at these text messages. Trump next, do Matt Walsh next, you know, do Kaya Reichik next, whatever. And so, you know, this is the Democrats. They embrace the radicals. You remember we did an episode a long time ago about this crazy bitch, Teresa Borenpol, who got dragged out of the Republican town hall up here. Right. That became national news. And it's like, you know, she gets dragged out and is instantly surrounded by elected representatives, lawyers, wealthy billionaire people that are all providing material support to this crazy communist freak.
Yeah, we don't really have that.
And then here we go again on the right, where we are engaging in the canceling. You know, what is this? The Idaho Young Republicans threw these people under the bus. Absolutely cowardly. By the way, Tyler Kelly should resign. Tyler Kelly, if you can hear this message, resign. You're a piece of cowardly shit.
Well, it's a really dumb move because they are not going to be able to attract any groypers who just talk like this.
Well, it's not even groypers, and this is the thing.
Every young person is talking like this.
These are the Charlie Kirk kids. Yeah. These kids weren't groypers. Yeah. These were Charlie Kirk's kids. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And so
this is the other angle that's important to keep in mind and that I wanted to talk about. Yes, there are undoubtedly some groypers in these Republican organizations, but especially Charlie Kirk people. Now this tells us a little bit about what kind of a threat, for lack of a better word, Charlie Kirk was to the Republican Party. This is something that has not been talked about a lot, but obviously people have been talking about his shifting feelings on Israel, and, you know, did Israel have perhaps a motivation to have him out of the way? But what people have not talked about is, what about the Republicans? Charlie Kirk's TPUSA organization was actually bigger than the Young Republicans. Like, more people, more vigorous, growing much more aggressively. And the Charlie Kirk positions they were growing ever increasingly out of step with the mainstream Republican Party. Charlie Kirk was like against escalation of the foreign wars. He wanted a total immigration moratorium. He was openly promoting Christian identity. He was starting to promote what I call a proto-white identity. Like he was like sort of getting along that track as well. And, and he had already revoked years ago his support for, the mass H-1B visas being stapled to the green cards. He was growing increasingly out of step of the Republican Party, and he was becoming more popular than them. He was gaining more adherents than them, right? And so we see that, that was confirmed by the reaction of many mainstream Republicans, not all, but many mainstream Republicans and other Republican organizations threw these guys under the bus after this Political article came out. So this doesn't represent us. This doesn't represent the values of the Republican Party. And I'm like, okay, but it represents like the values of the rising generations and the generations that the Charlie Kirks of the world were channeling. And I think we need to talk about that and be aware of that that tension existed. Was there perhaps, and then I saw Jonah Goldberg, this Jewish neocon Republican, formerly of the National Review. He attacked other Republicans for defending these kids.
Yep.
And he was attacking them. And I think it's probably because of their Holocaust jokes. He's a very, uppity Jew. And so there is actually another side to this where there's another party involved here that it's Jews. There's this Jewish role going on here. And there's some Jews attacking these kids as well from within the Republican Party. But we have to acknowledge that there is a growing massive movement that is growing increasingly out of step with the Republican Party. And this is a big indicator of it.
Yeah, and I think that some of these tweets that we're seeing, like the one from J.D. Vance coming out saying this is far worse than anything said in a college group chat, and the guy who said it could become the AG of Virginia, right? This was J.D. Vance's defense. He also, let me see if I can pull the clip up. J.D. Vance actually went on the Charlie Kirk show this morning. And talked about this. I've got the clip. Let's take a listen.
By focusing on what kids are saying in a group chat, grow up. I'm sorry. Focus on the real issues. Don't focus on what kids say in group chats. But there's another angle to this that I just have to be honest about. I mean, I'm like an old guy at this point. I'm 41 years old. I have 3 kids. I grew up in a different world, right? Where not most of the stupid things that I did when I was a teenager and a young adult, they're not on the internet. Like, I'm going to tell my kids, especially my boys, don't put things on the internet. Like, be careful with what you post. If you put something in a group chat, assume that some scumbag is going to leak it in an effort to try to cause you harm or cause your family harm. But the reality is that kids do stupid things, especially young boys. They tell edgy, offensive jokes. Like, that's what kids do. And I really don't want us to grow up in a country where a kid telling a stupid joke, telling a very offensive stupid joke, is cause to ruin their lives. And at some point, we're all going to have to say, enough of this BS. We're not going to allow the worst moment in a 21-year-old group chat to ruin a kid's life for the rest of time. That's just not okay. Like, we live in a digital world. This stuff is now etched in stone online. We're all going to have to say, you know what? No. We're not doing this. We're not canceling kids because they do something stupid in a group chat.
No. Okay. What a tepid bullshit response from J.D. Vance. This is not the worst moment in these kids' lives. Okay. They're not kids. Some of these people are like 40. This is not, they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't say anything stupid. What they're saying is making light of cancel culture, which they have grown up in. And some of those things are legitimate representations of a movement, just like Sam was saying. And Republicans are going to have to reconcile that, like, they are looking at an American youth that has grown up with cancel culture. They don't have very much to lose because their economic prospects are terrible, and they are radicalized. This isn't like a stupid teenage mistake or something like that. This is representative of something larger and something real.
Well, I guess compare what J.D. Vance said to what the Idaho Young Republicans said. Their statement is that we are aware of the recent Politico article that was published referencing a leaked chat by a small faction of YR members from outside of Idaho. We were appalled by the 2,900 pages of disturbing messages. The rhetoric used in the leaked chat is vile, hateful, and frankly un-American. These actions do not reflect our standards or the values we promote as YRs or as members of the Republican Party. We strongly condemn this behavior. Furthermore, we believe that any YR leader or member who condones these actions should promptly remove themselves from the organization. Your Idaho Young Republicans stand for leadership, service, and respect, and we will never tolerate this behavior in our organization. So comparing the two responses from J.D. Vance to the establishment, which is represented here by the Idaho Young Republicans, there's a very clear divide. We were seeing this also from Theo Wold, who we've been critical of on this show before, but this is, hey, he's not giving in, he's not canceling, and this is the split. This is a very real split and a wedge that we all as dissidents should be driving into the party. We should be pressing forward and attempting to wedge these people out. These old, fuddy, fag people, whatever.
The fag people, you're out.
You hear me? They need to go. Anybody that's out here clutching pearls at these text messages when the left literally wants us dead and our children's dicks cut off, I'm sorry. We're in a knife fight. We're in a knife fight. Are you going to put down your arms? Or are you going to pick up the machine gun? Are you going to get these kids? Because they want to fight. They understand the fight that we're in.
I had something else to tell these kids, these 40-year-old kids. The most important thing right now is that you do not apologize. Do not say you regret anything. Do not say that that this was private and you said something stupid. No, say nothing. You regret nothing. Never apologize. Ever apologize. Never apologize for this. That is the most important thing.
Listen, when we win, we are going to have a giant museum in Washington, D.C. of all of the canceled people. We're going to have a wall. It's going to have names on it.
Yeah.
Okay? It's going to be like the Vietnam Memorial.
And first is going to be that chick who was fired when she tweeted on the plane that she was going to Africa and she was afraid she was going to get AIDS. She was case zero of cancel culture.
So we're doing that, and so what I'm saying is there's going to be history books written when we win. And the easiest way to guarantee that you get written out is to be a cuck.
Yeah.
And to roll over on your friends and to apologize for something that you don't need to apologize for. I still do political consulting on this side. We were talking about this a little bit beforehand. I'm not going to get into it, but there's a campaign that has a racial scandal. And of course, if you are ever running for office and you wind up having some sort of racial scandal, you can always call up Dave Riley.
Who will tell you not to apologize.
Absolutely take you on as a client. I don't do any of this, I don't do any of this cancel bullshit. So, client has a racial scandal. What do I do?
You tell him to tweet the hard R.
You need to fight back. You need to define yourself or be defined, right? And this Politico article is seeking to define these kids as, awful, racist, outside the bounds, disgusting, terrible, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, define yourself now, right? And so, this client of mine, he's not doing it. He's not going to go through.
Is he apologizing?
He apologized. Not only did he apologize, but it's like the hit job on it was so obvious that as coming from his political opponent. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there. And it's like, buddy, they want you dead. They just called you a racist.
Yeah.
And you've got to live with these people. And you're not going to defend yourself?
Yeah, of course.
Come on.
Yeah. Also, you're going to feel bad.
Obviously, it's a problem. The radical left, they're wacko, they're crazy. They want to kill people. They have tried to kill people. Maybe they have killed people. That's important. But we can't lose sight of the fact that there are elements within the Republican Party and within the right and within conservative circles that adhere to cancel culture as well. And believe in cancel culture and do not believe in freedom of speech as well. They're the enemy inside the tent with us that'll stab us in the back. And we saw that with the Idaho Young Republicans here, throwing these guys under the bus. The Idaho Young Republicans are not the only group of Republicans and conservatives here who were throwing these kids under the bus and who believe in this cancel culture and think we have to apologize for our speech and who will call speech violent, just as the left calls it violent. I mean, people were saying that this was the violent speech in this group chat. Violent? Like, Did somebody get hurt?
Right.
The only people that got hurt were the people who got doxxed and got their jobs taken away and got fired, got their careers hurt. Like, there's the violence. Not words aren't violence. Words in a private group chat right now. I'm going to tell you something, everybody. Right now, somewhere in the world, there's a private group chat where somebody's dropping a hard R, making Holocaust jokes, saying Hitler jokes, using edgy humor,
and
using profanity. It's happening right now as I speak. And guess what? You still got food on your table. You can still get in your car and go to work. It's not affecting you. It's not hurting you in any way. It's not hurting anybody. So it's just words. It's just speech. It's just a private group chat. Like, can we just get past this? But apparently some of our own Republicans cannot get past this.
This reminds me of a quote from a very amazing nationalist from Romania, who some of you may know, some of you may not know, but I would highly recommend reading his book, For My Legionnaires. We're talking about
why does he look like Bronze Age pervert, though?
Because he's Romanian. Corneliu Zelea Cudranu, who said in his book, if I had but one bullet and was faced by both an enemy and a traitor, I would let the traitor have it.
Well.
And, he's right.
Yeah.
Because what Gavin did to these kids, and I would even be like, I understand if you were doing this to like get a promotion or something, but it wasn't even that. It was literally just fucking pettiness, and then not caring about the collateral damage of all of these young kids. It is so disgusting. These traitors.
Oh, he cared about the collateral. He knew what he was doing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
but you know what's the problem here is that there are other forces that will try to make hay out of this. They'll try to use this to implement more strict censorship on social media, to shut people out of government positions, to perhaps get legislation passed. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye out for this, but I can easily see that there are people who are interested in making hay out of this, even on the right. Oh, yeah. And, the establishment is wasting no time at all. And you can see how all of these other YR groups are just closing ranks and trying to force these kids out. And so, Gavin, even though he was allegedly anti-establishment with his New York Young Republican crew, and very tolerant of Groypers and Nick Fuentes fans and stuff like this, it doesn't matter, because the moment that he released these text messages, the establishment is all over it like white on rice, using it to their own advantage, using it to shore up their apparatuses and to force these kids out. And so I guess the white pill in this, though, is like, when you see the pictures of these kids, they're normal people. Yeah. These are normal people that have not only adopted our talking points, they're completely red-pilled, they're on our side, and there's more of them.
Yeah.
There are so many more of them, and more are being born every single day. And this is only going to radicalize these kids further. They are guaranteed to be working for our cause, for our movement, working towards the destruction of cancel culture, the destruction of Israeli control of the United States government. And guess what? They've been unshackled now. So now we've got, 30, 40 young kids that are now unencumbered, that can go out and organize openly. And we've got to
work for us.
We've got to embrace this, because there's going to be more of this. And I welcome it. I think it's a positive development, and it shows the direction that the winds are blowing. So the establishment, the Israelis, the people that are in control of the government now are on borrowed time, and they know it.
Oh, absolutely.
Censorship must absolutely be annihilated. We must absolutely annihilate this censorship mentality that has it's gripping the world. But unfortunately it's gripping this nation too, where it's not supposed to be gripping us, because we have our First Amendment rights enshrined in the Constitution. Unfortunately, we have not been able to exist in a climate of non-censorship. So hopefully this is just another domino to fall in the censorship industrial complex.
Right.
Yeah.
That brings us to our discussion piece. We have we're developing this chasm on the right about whether or not we should infiltrate institutions, which Nick actually said before this doxing of the young Republicans. And he has kind of a hot take on that we need to hide our power level better, or if we should be normalizing these opinions. We're going to talk about it after this clip.
And this is why I've been pushing this so strongly for 10 years. I want Groypers to go to Yale, go to Stanford, go to Harvard, infiltrate the government. We need the smartest young people to get jobs at the Pentagon, at the Department of War, at DHS, yes, at the CIA. And, you know, that guy, Dan Caldwell, I kind of make fun of him for crying a little bit, but we need guys like that. We need young whippersnappers like him. He's probably like my age, but we need young guys like that, a new generation to rise through the ranks in the security state, because personnel is policy. Only if we actually control those levers, only if our guys control those levers, do we actually see change.
Okay, I'm of two minds about this, because his stance is an implicit endorsement of reinforcing existing institutions, which I just generally don't advocate. We talk about doing a ground up approach, creating parallel economies, parallel systems. I think the whole thing needs to be destroyed. Also, it does advocate for people hiding their power level, not normalizing what we talk about, and I don't like that either. But if we cannot break down the system, then this might be the only way that we move forward through infiltration. But I don't know if you can even effectively do that, because everything you do is so heavily monitored. If you have a job at the CIA, you think that they don't have access to everything you've ever said through text message? Like, there's just no way to hide your power level that effectively.
I don't know. I mean, I think Signal's pretty good. I use Signal.
I don't know, man.
Signal's pretty good.
I don't trust anything. I think everything's compromised.
Everything's
I'm not an
compromised,
expert,
yeah.
but I just assume everything's compromised. And even if you have Signal, what if your phone gets Paragoned or Pegasus?
Right, yeah.
Right.
Now,
right.
now they got access to your Signal. So,
Right.
you know, and then they got the NSA facility there in Bluffdale, Utah. It's been in the news, been in discussion a lot lately after Charlie's assassination. It's literally just hoovering up all electronic data, phone calls, text messages, emails, you know,
Absolutely.
messages, everything. They're caching everything, storing everything. Now, here's the thing. Like, maybe some of it has encryption that they can't break right now, but you know what? They can break encryption from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and what are they going to be able to break 20 years from now? Especially,
right.
you know, all this quantum computing and stuff. So, like, okay, maybe they can't break it now, but what about 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now?
Right.
So
and should we
they're
even
gonna
be
they're going to have all
talking
of that.
in terms of decades? Like, another thing about this is that we don't really have time for this infiltration process that could take another generation. Like, we have right now, we have like how the winds are blowing against Israel right now. It needs to be seized. If people came out in mass with what they're saying in their group chats and it was completely normalized, we wouldn't even have to do this shit.
Well, see, I mean, I'm not of two minds of this. I'm of one mind of this that encompasses all of these different strategies. There's a really good book. By the way, we put out on our website, let me see if I can pull it up. If you go to our website under affiliate links, we have a link to our new book club, which, by the way, you need to fill out. You need to submit your books. I've got like a whole freaking list of them. But this book right here by Jean Housset, Action by Jean Housset, highly recommend getting a copy of this and reading it. And what Jean Housset talks about in this book is a diversity of people with a diversity of tactics, flooding the zone. We need the Patriot Fronts. We need the Nick Fuenteses. We need to infiltrate and we need to overthrow at the same time. So like when you look at, for example, Germany, right? Look at Germany. They tried the beer hall putsch. The beer hall putsch failed. I'm sure that in 1922 and 1923, it felt like the end of the world with the Weimar Republic, right? And you've got all of these people that are looking at their country. They're looking at their women being abused, being completely torn down, the cultural institutions being completely uprooted, the elite class being a completely foreign element that is, governing Germany to its detriment. But what did they do? After the beer hall putsch failed, they started with a grassroots bottom-up movement and took power in that way. There was a video that came out from like an account called Truth Nuke. So I am copying a little bit from Truth Nuke here. But you can look at the revolution in Cuba with Fidel Castro. On the one hand, you had Fidel with the guerrilla armies off in the mountains, training and biding their time, and seizing sugar, seizing fuel oil and supplies from the government. But that action that the guerrillas were doing in the mountains was partnered with civil action, civil disobedience, popular uprisings, movements, marches. And so you've got to have both. There is room in this struggle for both the revolutionary and the reformer. And so I think Nick is definitely in that kind of reform camp, using the systems and the roots of power that we currently have. There are other people like, what's his face from Patriot Front, more of a revolutionary type. But I think that
that's a good perspective.
I think that there is not just room for both, but a necessity for both
Full
of these
spectrum
methods.
dominance. Full spectrum
Absolutely.
dominance.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
Like it's not enough to have an Air Force or just an Army or the Marines or the Navy. We have all of them. We have a Space Force now too, right? And then we have information warfare, and we have espionage and counter-espionage operations. In terms of a military, metaphor. It takes all levels. You need your infantrymen, you need your pilots, you need your mechanics, you need your generals, you need the different branches of the armed forces. We need a full spectrum counterattack here, counterinsurgency, if you will. That means we have to build our own parallel institutions. That means we should be trying to infiltrate the current institutions and reform them at the local level, at the national level, at the state level. All of these things, building our own companies, taking over other companies. This is how our country was seized in the first place, through a full spectrum dominance, litigation, lobbying, organizations, NGOs, businesses, politicians, right? Like, this is how our society was occupied and overthrown, through full spectrum warfare. Well, how do we expect to take it back without full spectrum warfare in return?
I totally agree.
No. So I think that there is, room for everybody. I think that if you are in the Republican Party or in the Young Republicans, or perhaps even in the administration, maybe you're in the Pentagon or the CIA or wherever you're at, hide your power levels. Be there and do what you can where you're at. For those of us that have been doxxed, we're here to do the normalizing. We're here to say the outrageous shit and normalize the conversation. And so we all have to work together towards this end. And this is one of the really big things where I'm concerned about, like the Palantir thing. They've been bragging over and over again about Project Gotham and the way that they subverted the right wing in Europe. Now, we're starting to see, the right wing youth in Europe, and, we were talking about this last week, but, the imminent collapse of the French Fifth Republic. But
monarchy now.
But so they definitely set the movement in Europe back several years, but they didn't stop it, right? And so what we're seeing here is this kind of infighting that is being exacerbated by the algorithms. It's being exacerbated by these fucking Indian accounts with the classical sculpture, marble, stone, vivid, whatever. These people are exacerbating the infighting, and so I think we need to resist that. We need to resist the infighting, and we need to acknowledge that there are different people with different talents and abilities, and that we need to be able to come together in these critical moments, like when these kids get doxxed, and all of us can come together and say, no, fuck you. We're not disavowing them.
Yeah. We're there for you guys.
We're there for you, know? And right. So I think that's the way forward. I don't think that any one particular strategy is going to be a silver bullet. It's going to take everybody working together like our lives depend on it, because frankly, they do. The life of our country depends on this. The life of our children and our children's children depend on this. So, if there is, in the next 6 months or 2 years, some sort of crazy financial collapse, which very well may come, hey, we'll seize on that when that happens. But if, for whatever reason, I don't know how, if we're able to avoid some sort of crazy shutdown or economic collapse, guess what? We got to be planning for the long term.
Absolutely.
So I don't see any conflict between the reformer or the revolutionary aspects of this thing. That's my take.
That was a much more nuanced and comprehensive answer than mine. And now I kind of agree with you guys.
Let's just fire everything. Fire everything. Handguns, AK-47s, artillery, F-16s, the nukes.
Let's do it.
Fire it all. Empty the cupboard.
Don't forget to get your super chats into the backlash.net to my channel right here on YouTube. Blonde in the
Yes.
Belly of the Beast, and to the Backlash account, which is at Real Backlash. We're going to do a few sponsorships, take your super chats, $10 and up. And
first,
answer
we
some
are
questions.
going to be talking a little bit about this situation over at Atlas Bullion. Let me see if I can pull up. I had bookmarked a couple of these tweets because it is getting absolutely out of control. This is from Wall Street Gold. JP Morgan CEO's Jamie Dimon said, quote, gold could easily go to $5,000, even $10,000 in environments like this. This is one of the few times in my life that it is actually semi-rational to own some. That's coming from Jamie, I believe he's Jewish as well, by the way.
Good Lord.
Everybody. It's starting to happen. China is starting to, consider monetizing gold, using warrants. I was listening to a podcast about this, but it makes a lot of sense to get gold, to get some silver, especially silver. The silver ratio, I believe, is around 80 or 81. It's been falling a little bit, but the possibility of silver just going absolutely apeshit.
Yeah.
I mean, where's the? Let me pull up the chart. It broke 53. This is the day chart. There's the 3-month chart. There's the year. If you've been listening to us for the past year, you would be up 70% on your silver. You'd be up, 30% on your gold. So listen, I don't think that the run on precious metals is over. Get yours at atlasbullion.com/backlash. You can make large purchases by calling Kenzie. She will help you. So if you happen to want to buy like $250,000 worth of gold, you can do that. Kenzie will help you. But they also have smaller packages, silver subscriptions for as low as $55 a month, gold subscriptions for $200 a month. Get yours now. Don't be short the precious metals market. You will deeply regret it in the future, I think. So atlasbullion.com/backlash. We also have to talk about tallow, Idaho Tallow Company. They make fine products without endocrine disruptors, all natural fragrances, none of the synthetic crap that goofs up your hormones or anything like that. They've got bars of soap, beard balm, which I'm using to keep my new beard is just getting bigger. I'm thinking about maybe dressing up as Jelani for Halloween or something. I think that might work.
I don't know. Look, I think Sam's winning.
Sam, do you need some tallow?
I got to get
balm?
mine trimmed. I've actually been making it smaller lately, but it's due for a cut.
Oh, looks
Again,
like
You know what you could pull off? You could pull off that Mel Gibson,
I mean, this used to be down. It used to be down to where you can't even see on the screen. I mean, I've been shorting it radically, and this is the longest
You
it's been
can make
now in
it
a few
pointy.
months. So it does
Pointy.
need to get shaped again, and I need to get it shaped and trimmed again. But
it's a good beard.
if you've got a beard, if you've got hair, if you have skin, you should definitely go to idahotallow.com today. And
it's definitely a bull market for beef tallow. Let me tell you. It's definitely a literal, figurative bull market for beef tallow right now.
I see what you did there. All right, we are going to get into some of your super chats now.
Rebecca hates me.
No,
No.
I could
That's
never.
fun.
Starting over on Entropy, Queensboro Bridge Enjoyer sent $10. He says, the $9.99 Entropy chat incident from last week is highly suspicious. My card was charged $10.02, so the only logical explanation is that Blonde has launched some sort of illicit digital coin clipping operation. Did researching the behavior of a certain demographic over the many years finally rub off on her?
Dude,
Digital
I'm
coin
so
clipping,
desperate to fund the show that I would consider doing some
Feet pics?
no, I'm not that desperate. Also, I have hideous feet. I wouldn't get anywhere.
Oh, geez. James Rhodes sent $99.98. Thank you, Dave, for your tweet regarding the young Republican situation. You, Rebecca, and Cameron are doing a great job spreading the truth and bringing on great guests.
Thank
By the
you.
way, it seems like Entropy takes a few shekels off my contributions, which explains these strange dollar amounts. Not trying to send coded messages. Love you guys.
Oh,
Interesting. Well,
we didn't know that.
there is something with Entropy. They're based in Canada, so this is what happens when you get canceled, right? So if you're an American, then you buy the super chat through Entropy, your dollars get converted to Canadian dollars.
Oh, yeah.
And then we actually get paid in Bitcoin. So then they convert the Canadian dollars to Bitcoin. So we're
Bitcoin,
probably losing like
a few cents on every conversion.
on
yeah.
every conversion, plus whatever they're taking off the top, which is probably like 30%. Anyway.
Live chat, beards do not belong to Jews. They don't.
What?
The live chat is spurging out about the quality and Jewiness of both of your beards.
Jeez.
Beards are a hairstyle that don't belong
I went on
to
the
Jews.
Lucas Gage stream about 2 years ago, and my beard was much bigger and much more squirrely than it is now. And the live chat said the same thing, and they were joking that I looked like a rabbi. And Lucas and I sort of played off of that for a moment, and we made some jokes about, like, me possibly having, some Jewish background, and here it's going to happen again. And I said, and somebody's going to clip this and try to make it sound like I was a Jew. And somebody did, and and Jaden McNeil and other people have been posting it all over Twitter. Look, he's admitting to being a Jew. And of course, I'm not Jewish, and this is not a Jewish beard. And so it's just funny. I feel like I'm on repeat here. I'm living a rerun.
Did you just ask Grok, are beards Jewish?
Yes, of course I did. I asked, are beards Jewish? And it said, beards aren't inherently Jewish, but they hold cultural and religious significance in some Jewish communities.
And in literally every culture.
Bro, I'm just saying, like, it's Idaho. You
have to have a beard.
This is lumberjack territory. If you don't have a beard, you're gay.
Yeah.
Basically. Or some sort of facial hair. You got to have like little
mustache.
The push broom mustache.
Yeah.
Maybe the Uncle A mustache. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't pull that one off.
Malcolm P.I. mustache. Tom Selleck.
You know what you need to do for Halloween, Dave.
My wife said that she would divorce me if I ever shaved my beard, so I can't do that. Yeah, no, I can't. I've only, since I grew a beard, I've only ever shaved my beard once, and I looked about 30 years younger when I did.
Only you can dress as Hitler because Cameron won't do it.
True. Were there any bearded Nazis? I don't think so.
I don't think it was part of the
clean shaven.
official hairstyles
Yeah,
of the Nazi party.
Gorilla Hands sent $10. Oy vey, Rabbi Dave. $10 for you to read our super chats now. Is it Riley Berg or Riley Steen?
No, actually, I implemented that policy because we had 3 shows over 3 hours in the last few months. And I was like, listen, we got to cut down the show time. It's just too much. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Plus, there's like, you could tell that there was like a couple of like Zionists that were like sending like $3 super chats to argue. They're like stretching out their money.
We have to have rules and order.
Another one from Queensboro Bridge what is wrong? Queensboro Bridge and Boyer. The Enjoyer sent $10. In our circles, it's easy to forget how unaware normies are. I was reminded of this after showing Trump brag about Jared converting his daughter to some normie Christian Trump voters and how outraged they were. I think this clip has great potential to be highly effective meme for us.
They were outraged.
Yeah. I mean, she's an apostate. She left the faith.
Right.
She left Christ and chose Judaism. That's
we pimped his daughter out to make an alliance with Jews.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
Judge Lot sent $50. I like you guys. So here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
and
bud.
Calidrius sent $10. Replay gang here. Gonna have to catch the replay because my coworkers won't shut the hell up and let me listen to one of the greatest shows on the internet. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
By the way, I'm going to take a brief detour. And I sent this to the group chat last night, and I'm going to play it because I think it's like really funny. I was on a Twitter space last night, and one of the guys is a big fan of the show. And so I think everybody get a kick out of this.
Yeah, I agree. I'm learning from people half my age. Dalton, Nick Fuentes, Dave. By the way, Dave Riley's in the room. I'm a huge fan. If you haven't watched The Backlash, that is my Regis and Kathy Lee. I used to watch that, as a teenager, and now I don't watch any of the networks. So I'm watching this stuff, and these guys have a great show, entertaining, and they've got a third guy, and I'm sorry I forget his name, but he always comes in with the big intellectual assessment. I forget his name, Dave, but anyway.
Cameron McGregor, yeah. Thank you so much, Mike.
Anyway, I thought that was so funny.
We got him. We're racist, Regis and Kathleen.
Hold on. I gotta help this guy out. Go follow. Let me get his Twitter ad up here. Michael, how do you say his last name? Michael Hittak. This guy is great. I love him. He's so funny.
He is funny. I do follow him.
He does these like little selfie videos all the time about like, eating food. I love him. He's great. It's fun, wholesome content.
He's salt of the earth, that guy. Yeah.
All right. Today's date is October 15th. So on Power Chat, Midnight Sun sent $10. Big fan of Lucas Gage, who appeared on Monday, and of you, Sam, filling in for Cam. Do you also agree with Lucas's sentiment on Stu's J-proof meme coin? I also noticed you two haven't collaborated recently. Are you still aligned on the cause?
You can go. I made a long post about J-proof on my timeline. I've made a couple. You can go search my timeline on Twitter and read everything I have to say about J-proof and Stu Peters.
Nice. Awesome. And Reinhardt sent $25. Hiding your power level is just cowering before the Jewish lash. As often as possible, you should be having frank conversations about Jewish power and white genocide. That is how this awakening started. Hiding power levels is what made this take ages. Yeah, I mean, listen.
We love you, Reinhardt.
Use discretion. Use your best judgment, right? Like if you are in a room full of boomers, like you don't stand up and, start going on and on about this stuff. But like you can test people. You can throw out a little dog whistle. You can see how they respond. And, I had a meeting, I think, was it on Monday? It might have been after the show. Older gentleman up here, does a lot of work, Republican volunteering and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, I've been hearing so much bullshit about you. Now I figured I'd just take you out to lunch. And so we talked for like 2 hours and I explained everything. And he's like, oh, you're actually like not that bad. And I'm like, no.
You're not that bad, Dave. What
are you talking about?
Every person has a secret power.
This stuff is sensible. Like this is not. We're not crazy.
Of course, we're not crazy. No.
So when you explain it rationally to people that are willing to listen, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to use discretion, good judgment, and you can have these kinds of conversations.
I want to comment on this before you move on. We are in an interesting environment that I'm not sure has ever really been lived through before, and what I mean by that is an environment where there's massive cancel culture and censorship, and then it gets eased and people get to be reintegrated, get to be uncensored, and get to be get uncanceled. And I don't know if it seems kind of unprecedented in my lifetime, and there's not really a roadmap for it. There's not really a roadmap for uncanceling people en masse. There's not really a roadmap for doing away with censorship. And we have to remember that not too long ago, we had to be very careful about what we said, or else we'd lose our social media accounts. We could be fired from our jobs. It wasn't that long ago. I mean, do people forget? Like during COVID, you could lose your YouTube, you could lose your Twitter, you could lose everything. You could be fired from your job for saying the wrong thing, for talking about vitamin D. Let's be realistic here. It is not very long since then. And so I forgive people if they're still reticent to just blurt everything out without being, without any self-censorship, because we're all very tentative. We're still trying to figure out where are the new bounds that they're going to allow us to have. What can I say without getting canceled again? I don't want to lose my channel again. I don't want to lose my monetization again. I don't want to get fired from my job again. There's no map for this. This is unprecedented. Like Nick Fuentes, he was absolutely canceled, right? And now he's emerging from that wilderness and ascending on a generational run, gaining acts, forcing his way into the mainstream, and people are criticizing him for how he's doing it. And I'm like, wait a second. This has never been done before.
Right.
There's no handbook for this. There's no guidebook. There's no strategy written out for how do you become uncanceled? How do you break through and get replatformed into the mainstream once you've been completely annihilated? There's no guidebook for this. There's no roadmap.
Right. And by the way, there are strong rumors that we might be seeing a Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson crossover next week.
Tuesday, I think. That's the Tuesday. Piece of, Alex Jones teased a debate between them that it's coming soon, he said. And then Nick, I think last night or the night before, teased that something big next week on Tuesday, which might be slightly confrontational or controversial. I can't remember exactly what he said, but so I'm doing my math and I'm thinking, okay, that's the Tucker thing's dropping next week.
Yep. Let's see. Fingers crossed. This could be big. This could be really, really big.
But he's going to take a lot of heat for that. Right? Oh yeah. He's been criticizing Tucker, and he's been taking a lot of heat for how he's approached the Charlie Kirk thing right now. And I'm like, look, this guy, he's gone from, I think he's gained almost 250,000 followers on Rumble in just the last month. That is crazy.
It's crazy.
Okay? Yeah. His clips are doing hundreds of millions across all the social media platforms. And he still can't get banking, right? He still can't get monetization on or access on major platforms. People are criticizing him for his approach, for trying to uncancel himself and get himself back into the mainstream. And there's no roadmap for this. Nobody's done this before. Like literally nobody's done this before.
Yep.
Tell me who's done this before.
Yeah. And I listen, I think Nick winning means we all win.
Yeah, exactly. So, right.
Let's just see where this goes. Ice Bank Mice Elf. Oh shit. They got me. For my beautiful blonde Murdoch Chan, $10.
Oh, thank you so much.
Book Track Groove sent a Rumble rant for $10. Sam Parker, do you know how to cook a ribeye steak? Rebecca, do you do a tweet on who can cook? David, new stinger. Did you check it? I did not see your new stinger.
Is he asking me to tweet more about cooking? Because I tweet about cooking a lot.
I think you should make a cookbook.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I am an excellent cook. I
think Antelope Hill would publish a blonde cookbook. I think that would be really funny and great and good recipes too. Sam?
I think that's dynamite. I think that sounds like a dynamite idea. And yes, I do know how to cook a ribeye. I can pan sear a ribeye. I can cook it over a charcoal grill. And sometimes I occasionally even sous vide it and reverse sear it.
That's the way.
The sous vide reverse sear.
But sometimes a charcoal grill steak, you can't beat it.
Sometimes the charcoal grill on the Weber.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to read this as one big super chat because it's two $5 super chats. I know you're breaking our rules here, but I'm not going to be a Jew about it. Mustache Means Favorite Potato sent $5. What the hell? Don't worry about all this stuff, guys. The Groypers are going to infiltrate the system over the next 20 years and save the West. Even the brown Groypers, just kidding, they're all fags. Also, Groyp sounds like the Yiddish version of grope between World War III soon. By the way, you can tell these pseudo pro-whites from the real pro-whites because 88 to the frauds means Hail Hitler. The real pro-whites know what it actually means. David Lane's 88 precepts.
Okay, we need as a movement...
Bro.
To not get
spurgy.
We need to not get spurgy. Right. Like I look at some people that are like, you're not pro-white because one time you said that you don't care that nerdy white men that are unmarriageable are marrying Asian women. I don't give a shit. I don't care. So like we need to find a way to not be racial purists in a way that is kind of crazy. Like,
but Jews can do this to a movement, right? They can like push the envelope on it and force the infighting to happen, and the purity spiral, it breaks loose, and then everything is destroyed.
But we do need to have some standards.
We need standards. I'm not saying we don't need standards. I'm just saying that
no
be
Indians,
aware that there
right?
are like very obvious like Jewish actors out there that are like forcing these issues and trying to get us to
Gavin Wax.
Well, I mean, I think, for example, this argument back and forth about revolution versus reformation, I think that's a great argument to have, and I think that it's going to give people ideas. I think it's going to be productive, way more productive than arguing about religion, because I'm going to be Catholic, and some of you are going to be pagan, and neither of us are going to change our minds. So let's just do what we can with what we can, as opposed to arguing about bullshit.
And what we're all trying to do is to live in a safe country that is racially homogenous. That's really what everybody wants.
And free of Jewish control. And
so if we can unify on those things, we should probably stop the infighting. I will say about Nick Fuentes, we have elevated him to deity level status, which I think is a mistake. Nick is just a man. He's a podcaster. I think he has political aspirations. Which is something that I kind of don't understand. And we need to think that he's just a guy that has opinions, that is rising to the top because he's just an incredible orator. But every single person in this movement, no matter how respectable, their opinions need to be treated with, we need to retain some element of skepticism about all opinions, including ours, right?
Sure.
Because all of us are going to make mistakes. All of us are going to say stupid stuff. And I see a lot of people like, oh, well, Nick said this thing, so I'm going to disregard everything he's ever said. It's like we also need to be able to be capable of taking the good and leaving the bad for any person, no matter how much of a movement leader they become.
Yeah.
Chew up the meat, spit out the bones. That's what I like to say.
Totally.
Amen. Book Track Groove sent $10. David, homework, 1 Corinthians 12. Be the cogs, be the belts, be the gears, together to build.
That is exactly what we were just talking about. Thank you.
So. Let me pull this up real quick. I don't know, my Bible.
Is that the body of Christ needs all its members?
Probably. Yeah, he didn't give me a specific verse. It's the whole chapter. Unity and diversity.
Just as a body, though one has many parts, but all of its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what he means.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, that's why, you know, if we were all Catholic, this would be a lot easier. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Let's see. We probably have some super chats that I'm missing here. Let me see.
Oh, do I need to go on my YouTube channel?
If I can, looks like we don't have any on our YouTube channel.
Let me go to my YouTube channel. I keep forgetting that I can get super. It's just so incredible to me.
I don't see any on yours.
What?
WTF, mate?
What, guys?
These kids are not super chatting?
They disappear.
Oh, they disappear in the chat?
Yes.
Really?
Let me pull it up.
Pull them up.
Pull them up. I'm so prepped.
Oy vey.
Supers. I haven't done this since I was on the Matt.
Wow. Huge number of views so far, I think. If I'm reading that right. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Yeah.
Can't
Good
be.
show.
Okay, Thunderstorm. Republicans are connected to Wall Street, organized the Bolshevik. Republicans that are connected to Wall Street organized the Bolshevik Revolution, and the neocons were created by Trotskyite Leo Strauss. They have zero legitimacy and equally Bolshevik like the left. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think any of us are going to disagree with that.
No, you're not.
I mean, yeah, you got like guys like, you got these Jewish international bankers who funded both sides. The Warburgs funded both sides of World War I. You had these guys funding the Bolsheviks. You had them funding Germany. You had them funding the United States, right? Like, elementary stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
Very much so.
Knee-haw.
See, Pet Hook sent $10.
Did you think I was just saying knee-haw like as an exclamation? I was going to finish these.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were saying ni hao. That's like hello in Japanese, isn't it?
That doesn't make any sense. It's Chinese.
Oh, well, whatever. They all look the same to me.
The dots running Google have remonetized Blonde in an attempt to bribe her for Bob and Vagine pics.
Oh.
And he said, oh, neat. I really can super chat here. Yeah. I cannot believe I'm monetized.
Yeah, we better not.
You got remonetized on your YouTube channel?
Yeah. Monetized for the first time.
For the
she
first
was never
time.
monetized.
No, I was in 2016.
Oh, wow. That was a long
but
time
it
ago.
was like long before they ever rolled out super chats or anything like that. So, so no, I got my first super chat like a week ago.
Nice.
Totally amazing.
Yeah, I got monetized. They granted me monetization on my YouTube. I'm not going to say when, but then they revoked it literally 2 weeks later.
Oh, nice. I would imagine my run here is going to be short.
And I hadn't even posted anything. They're like, yeah,
they're like, oh, fuck, we did that in here.
Got it approved. And then 2 weeks later, I got another mail. Just kidding. Just kidding.
See Pet Hook. I don't know how to say your name, buddy. Patuk. I don't know. $10. Came in late, but stayed anyway. High morale episode, and happy to say that I'll be making my first Atlas Bullion purchase tomorrow.
Yay.
Bravo.
Thank you so much.
Your children will thank you.
Make sure you do it through the Backlash link so we get that sweet, sweet commission.
Or you can call Kenzie and talk about the show.
Kinsey is also really fun to talk to on the phone.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's got to be going nuts right now. She was texting me like, it's gone. The silver's gone. Like, it's,
what do we do?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Book Track Groove sent $10. Been washing in the tallow. Thank you. Rebecca, I love 3-hour shows. Sam Parker, dad joke, please. Thoughts on the dating market? We need a dad
dating
joke,
market
Sam.
sucks. Like, if you're married, like, the grass isn't greener. Like, you know, if you think that you're going to like ditch your wife or your husband and go find somebody better, like the odds are against you. So like make your marriage work. There's my dating advice for you. Being married, you know, I don't know. The grass is not greener. Like it just isn't. So, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty tough out there for the kids, especially the dating market. I can't even imagine. I mean, it was getting very bad when I met my wife. It was already pretty bad. I mean, that was what we met in 2018, and it was awful then. And nowadays, I mean, and look at this whole like the dating thing, like these dating apps, Tinder and Bumble and all that. It's all owned by Match Group, which has the CEO's Jewish.
Yeah.
And
they're all like Jews.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, is this, are they going to like direct high agency white males towards high agency white females in the app? Probably not. I bet you that there is some algorithm in there hidden deep in the core of the code that's like designed to fuck up young white men from finding good wives.
Well, you know, years ago, the dating websites, and I'm old head here, but when internet dating first came upon the scene in the early 2000s and we were experimenting with it, you could enter in like what race you were looking for.
You can do that on Match.com. Yeah.
what
I don't know.
income, what religion. You could do all these things, and then it would bring up a list of everybody that fit that, and you could message them.
Yeah.
But
That's
now
how I met my husband.
The algorithm decides who you get to see, and you don't get to like determine any of that stuff. So you just take what it feeds you,
yeah,
and it's collecting data on you. And I don't know. I don't do it now, but it just looks like it's a disaster.
Don't do it.
I don't know. Do it if it works. I met my husband on Match.com because I filtered for white, tall, and conservative in Seattle, and I got like two matches.
Can you still do that? Can you still? Because that's how it used to be on these apps. Can you still do that on?
I don't know. I mean,
apps?
that was in like what 2016 or something.
That might have been a long time ago. Yeah, I'm like one of the few people that I know that like I met my wife through natural
IRL.
Through like natural social connections. And it's because like I gave up. Was it CatholicMatch.com, right? And it's like, right, in order to be Catholic, you have to believe in the dogmas of the church. And if you discard one dogma, it's just like discarding all of them, right? So you don't pick and choose what you believe. Like you can't be a Catholic and then say that you believe in divorce and remarriage. But on CatholicMatch.com, you can literally go, I believe in the Eucharist. I don't believe in, I do believe in it. And it's like, so you're telling me you're not Catholic.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. All right. Next. And so anyway, didn't work. Yeah. Go to church. There's so many.
Go to church.
Many women
Undefeated.
at church.
Go to church.
Glam Drink sent $10. Send these Wang half. For Dave, that's a Fuentes reference. Google it. Send these Wang half son of a bee. I got to read this again. Send these Wang half money brothers. Yes, and you know what Wang half means, right? White ass niggas going hard as fuck. Wang half based. I did have to Google that the first time I saw it. But very true. Yes, please. If you are in a position to maybe you own some sort of factory, if you want to offer one of these kids a job, get in touch with me. I will pass it along. When you get doxxed, sometimes it's good to lay low, get like a normie job and just chill out for a year. But we need to come around these kids, rally behind them, support them any way that we can. It's big. It's a big deal. And, it's not 2017 anymore. It's 2025. Indeed. We've got to back these kids up. So anyway, I think that does it for Super Chats.
Did we talk Antelope Hill?
We have not yet, but I'm going to read the ad for Antelope Hill Publishing, who is fighting to keep history alive amidst the regime of anti-white censorship and to publish a new generation of dissident, radical, and right-wing researchers, philosophers, polemicists, and writers. They have an eclectic catalog that includes veteran right-wing authors and academics like Carrie Bolton, Dr. Ricardo Duchesne, and Paul Kersey, as well as newer figures like Lord Miles Routledge of Afghanistan, who's apparently not dead, Josh Neal, Christian Secor, in addition to a long list of other translations or modern reprints of otherwise inaccessible historical works from eras such as fascist Italy, National Socialist Germany, and even medieval Europe. Their original works include groundbreaking investigations into the causes and funding behind transgenderism and the opioid crisis, books on Christian nationalism and American folktales. Additionally, Antelope Hill also contributes to the regeneration of our culture and the rebirth of our family values through their top-quality fiction, including books like Let Them Look West and World Separated, and a collection of beautifully illustrated and wholesome children's books. Whatever your interest is, you're bound to find books that you like at Antelope Hill, all professionally published with cover art that will grace your bookshelves. Help us and help our people by checking out companies that share our values and work to preserve the birthright of our history. Visit Antelope Hill Publishing today. And by the way, speaking of books, I did a thing. I've been reading this book recently, Catholic Martyrs of the Spanish Civil War, A Catholic Holocaust, it says at the top.
You should talk to Pete Quinones about this.
It's funny because they got pushback for the original publishing of the book, so they changed the cover and removed the part that says Catholic Holocaust.
Oh, good Lord.
Which is like really gay. So I went on the internet this past week and I bought up all the copies that I could of the original cover. And I'd like to do a giveaway at some point here. So I don't know how to do it yet. We're going to have to find some way to quantify it, but I've got copies and I want to give them to some of our listeners. It's a fantastic book because it really goes over the situation there. I started rereading it after Charlie Kirk got shot, and it's got these tables in here about like how many assassinations there were in a week, how many churches got burned down in a week, how many nuns got raped in a week, how many priests got killed in a week. And it's like, they talk about how it started out slow and then it gets faster and faster. And then eventually it hits this peak. And that's when the Civil War kicked off.
That's how it goes.
And, also being able to read about the faith of these people that were willing to go to their death to fight for their country, for their people, and for their God. I think it's a very edifying book, very good. You can always buy a copy on our book list, but I've got a couple copies that I want to give away. So stay tuned for that. That's all I wanted to say.
Find all of our links on the backlash.net. Cameron will be back next week. On Monday, we have PNW Gorilla. Sam Parker, where can people find you and follow your excellent Twitter?
Twitter at based Sam Parker. And from there, you can get my Sam Parker Senate account, and all my other links go to my Flow page. There's my Flow page link. It'll take you to all my other socials and donation, funnels and whatnot. So there you can find me. That's where I'm at.
By the way,
Sam Parker.
This reminds me, we did have one super chat through our proprietary crypto super chat app that we made that you can use.
It's proprietary.
Anytime you like it. We made it ourselves. Nice. We got three of them. We read 2 on the air. The third one took a minute to come through. And this is from Anon, who sent $88, and he said that the only thing cheaper than a Jew is an anti-Semite. And that's because we don't have any fucking money, okay? Please.
But there has been this long culture in the dissident right of like, if anybody's doing anything for money, you're not pure, you're not ritually pure or something, and everything has to be free. And I'm like, at some point, like, people need to be compensated for their time and labor. What are we trying to make slaves out of our own people?
Exactly.
And how are we going to win without money?
Yep. Yeah.
Like the army marches. It marches on its stomach.
I know. Where are the anti-Semitic billionaires?
Anti-Semitic billionaires, sugar daddies getting rich on gold and silver.
Yeah.
Come
where
on,
are you? I know you're watching.
They are watching. I happen
ticking.
to know one that watches.
Yeah, they're out there.
We'll give
Working on him.
Thank you, Sam. We appreciate it. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks
we will see you on Monday.